Welcome to the fifth and final installment in my Answering the Atheist Challenge series. I'm going to start off right away with question number 11.
Question number 11. Many atheists claim that God has never interacted with the natural world, and if he did, that's all it would take for them to believe and be theistic. Well, in the past 50 years, there have been hundreds of thousands of supernatural events recorded in hospitals, churches, and normal, unbiased places and situations. These include miracle healings, demon and angel sightings, ghost sightings, near-death experiences, and all other supernatural events. Out of all of those in just the past 50 years, not to mention the millions and millions before that, do you believe that each and every person and each and every account of these were delusional or were hallucinated by the person? Do you believe that none of them really happened? It was all just self-deceived?
Supernatural events have been purported, recorded, but never substantiated. There's a significantly large group of people who wander around all the time who investigate the claims of the supernatural. It is important to understand that the absolute second that any of these supernatural events could actually be scientifically substantiated, it would be the biggest news in the world. Whoever happened to substantiate such a thing would instantly become more famous than Isaac Newton, more famous than Charles Darwin. It would be a world-changing event. And until that happens, I will maintain rational skepticism. Of course, as always, subject to revision if, in fact, any of this could be substantiated. That just seems to me to be the only sensible way to proceed.
And in sort of in addition to that, 95% of the world believes in a higher power or a God. Do you believe that all 6.5 billion of us today, and all those billions in history, including people such as Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Ben Franklin, Pascal, Isaac Newton, Jesus, and so many others, do you believe that all of those are deceived? Or would you admit that the existence of some higher power is possible? You just don't believe in it.
First of all, 95% is a gross overstatement. In America alone, they estimate that people who would consider themselves non-religious are at least 10%, and in places in Europe, it's near like 90%. But basically, you go all over the world, and people who consider themselves non-religious, it is well more than 5% of the total population. Not that actually matters. I made the statement earlier in the series where I talked about how the reason we're being so vocal right now is because we want people to understand that there are, in fact, a lot of us, and that society hasn't collapsed because of it. But that doesn't matter, because to answer this question, the number of people that believe something is entirely irrelevant to its actual truth value. A long time ago in England, you could actually be sentenced to death for contemplating the death of the king, because it was believed that your thoughts on the matter could actually influence reality. 95% of the population at one time believed in slavery. 95% of the population at one time believed that the earth was flat. I mean, the number of people who believe something does not add credibility to its truth value. The evidence supporting it is what adds to its truth value. So, this is a moot point. Do I think that they were all deceived? No, I don't think that they were deceived. I think that for a very, very long time, God, of some, in some form or other, was probably the best explanation that people could come up with. And let's face it, people are not comfortable without explanations. So, it's perfectly understandable. I mean, you take the psychology of humanity, and it's inevitable. But that doesn't make it any more true.